Hey everybody, thought I'd do another quick update from the workshop, bring you up to date on the Cap 21 project. As you can see, the fuselage is now covered, looking pretty good. It's not my all-time best covering job, but it's okay. There'll be some fluorescent vinyl applied to it to give it a little bit of color. I was going to go back with a scale color scheme, but now I think I'm just going to do a fantasy scale color scheme that looks like it could have been done on a Cap 21, but I want to be able to see it a little better. So I'll probably do something maybe not quite as bright as what I did on the Avanti there, but those will be the colors on the top. And then the bottom will have a black color scheme similar to what I did on this little foam board edge here. That's in dark blue. So I'll probably go with black, or maybe dark blue, we'll see. Probably black though, because I have black appliance epoxy paint and that is fuel proof. Speaking of paint, I did decide to paint the cowling. I attempted to cover a few little pieces of it while I was covering this, and I probably could have made it work, but it would have looked odd. So I've been at this with the sandpaper, and I just did another little application of this glazing putty. It's heavy, so you don't want to use it for big divots, but for little things like cracks along the joints and little low spots like that one right there that I just realized I missed, and deep sanding gouges like these that I couldn't get out. That was actually from the Permagrit tool. So just a little bit more of the glazing putty on there. Then I'll block that off, get some more primer on it, see how it looks, and then it will be painted with the gloss white appliance epoxy from Rust-Oleum, which is a pretty close match to this covering material. I checked that out by testing it against this glider, which is painted with that. And well, this is very bad lighting condition, but it's close. Trust me, it's close. So it won't be quite as shiny as the covering material, but it'll look okay. The canopy, I don't know if we addressed the canopy last time, but it had been mistrimmed and I don't think it's the right one. But I got some of this tint spray from Tamiya, and tinted the inside, because most all the ads that you used to see for this thing showed a tinted canopy, and I always thought that looked really cool. So tinted canopy, and I just painted this gray inside. I was going to put an instrument panel and possibly a pilot, but gosh, I don't know, with this dark canopy I may just leave it alone and save the weight of a pilot figure. What else has been done since last video? The wing, the ailerons are hinged and covered, and I have cut holes in the ends of the wingtips. One of the wings, that was to lighten it because it's very light, and the other one's very heavy. And it will also give me a place to put a little bit of lead to laterally balance the wing before I cover it up. Still have to re-glass the center section. These light spots, these are places where the original adhesive from the black covering, I could not get off the balsa without sanding way more off than I wanted to. So I just mixed up some acrylic paint in a light balsa-ish color to paint over the dark spots, so that'll keep it from bleeding through the covering and make it less obvious that there are dark splotches on it. I still have to do that to the bottom of the wing if I care, but I may not care. Let's see. That is about it, I believe, on this project. We've got some other things that have been going on. Picked up a Logo 200 on the helicopter side. We'll get it down here. It's kind of cute. It's, for those that don't know what a Logo 200 is, it is an OMP M2 V2 that Mikado worked with OMP to put a special speed controller unit in there that would talk to the V-bar governor, and then they put a mini V-bar in it, a mini Neo, which as far as I know you can't buy anywhere except in this helicopter. And this canopy is a 3D printed one that I found online. I printed it from the pre-foamed Polylite lightweight PLA. The little tongue that engages course, that broke off immediately, so that's just a little piece of credit card glued in there. The grommets are printed from, yeah, it's already been broken there too. The grommets are printed from white TPU, and they're the snap grommets that I use instead of the kind that go all the way through. They have a opening inside that is shaped to match the little point here. So they just snap on nicely, a little easier to remove than the rubber grommets, and they don't push out like the rubber grommets. But anyway, this is just an OMP M2 V2 with a V-bar, which is both good and bad. Really good cyclic feel, uses the same radio as my other helicopters, but the V-bar's handling of the motor tail is not as good as the OMP flybarless unit or the Goose Guy S2. So I have an OMP M2 that I picked up for a really good deal. Thank you, Shannon. And I really just bought it to use as spare parts for this because they're the same machine, but I flew it just to see how it flies, and as you would expect, better tail or cyclic. So choose your poison. I've been flying this because it works with the V-bar and it flies really well. And I'll link a video in the description of this one to a video I recently shot of me flying it in the yard. This canopy, incidentally, is just white paint, and then this is vinyl, which you can easily tell right there because it's kind of coming up a little bit. But it's a really thin, really flexible sign vinyl that I get from a shop on eBay. And it's the same thing I used on the Jet over there, and it's the same stuff I'll use on this. It's about half the thickness of monocoat trim sheets. You can barely feel the edge there. And as you can see, it stretches around curves really nicely. So it's not cheap, but it works really good for decorating models. And I suppose that's about all that's new in the workshop. Just gonna keep plugging away on this Cap 21, eventually get it put back together and fly it. And hopefully it won't live up to its reputation of being Snap 21 with all the weight I've taken out of it. We'll see. Till next time, build something, fly something, have fun.